So when you raise like the first part, so the first part is very much like, paying expenses to find the company. But then you said you raise another, let's say, round to properly acquire the company. But from the very first stage, you sort of know the size of transaction you will be able to do, I guess, which is a discussion you have before starting with the initial investors who would pay for your expenses, I assume. Because otherwise, I mean, they give you, they invest some money for a 2-year period. If you start looking at businesses that are way too big, you find a suitable business, which is great, etc. But then when comes the time of raising money, if the initial investors do not have enough funds for those sort of acquisition, it essentially stops. So assume there are discussions you have at the very beginning, right?
Exactly. So essentially, for the first phase of the search fund, which is raising the capital, the way you approach the investors is that you prepare different documents. One, and that's the main document, that's the private placement memorandum, which is a sort of 50-pager where you explain your strategy, you present yourself, and you also explain what you're actually looking for, meaning what sort of business, which sector, which size, and you agree on that. Overall, the search fund space is predominantly focused on businesses that generate between 1 and 4 million EBITDA roundabout.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure that later on, as you said, there's enough capital to cover the equity ticket for the acquisition. What we've seen in the last few months is that actually also in the search fund space, because the value proposition is so different to private equity, the market has actually gone up in terms of actual company size. So beginning of this year, one searcher in Germany actually acquired a roundabout 8 to 10 million EBITDA company.
Mm-hmm.
So there was, a large syndicate that took place to finance that acquisition. But in the end, the problems that are predominant in the private markets, and especially in the private equity world, which is dry powder, you have, a lot of deployment issues. I think 1.2 trillion dry powder at the moment of capital that needs to be deployed. And that's actually the same case within the search fund world. All those points leads to the market moving slightly upper
Mm-hmm.
within the actual company size.